Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to your weekly dose of celestial goodness. As always, thank you for joining me in this space and on this journey. And wow, what a journey it's been. I looked back recently over some of the topics and some of the information that we've shared and talked about, and I just feel really grateful to be able to not only share this information with you guys, but also know that in the process of sharing, I'm also learning and remembering the importance of these topics as well. So thank you for showing up, thank you for providing feedback, and for interacting with my dream and my vision. I really can't even put into words how much I appreciate it. So thank you. Now, before we go any further today, I just want to check in with you. Deep breath. How are you doing? Are you sleeping okay? Are you drinking water? How is your breath? Is it tense? Are you tense? Are you doing shallow breaths, or are you truly, breathing, and can you feel where in your body you might be holding on to things, stressful things? So, just for a moment, I want you to take in a deep breath with me. And just breathe out. Take in another. And breathe out. Now I want you to put your hand over your heart. And just feel the beating. You are alive and you're here. And that in and of itself is a beautiful miracle. As this year starts to progress, I just want you to remember to check in with yourself periodically. It's amazing how informative the body is about what we're experiencing and what we're feeling and what we're going through. And there is a lot going on in the world and in the cosmos, more than ever. So just check in with yourself and utilize all the tips for your self-care, because I feel that they will prove to be not only life-saving, but life-changing. So what does this year, 2021, hold for celestial goodness? Well, I hope to continue to provide content that uplifts your soul, content that inspires you, content that reminds you that you are absolutely loved and needed right here, right now on planet Earth, for a time such as this. I hope to provide you with content that really speaks to your genuine and authentic self, and that reminds you that even though some days and experiences may be hard and challenging, that you can get through it. I hope that you'll really feel that each day is a gift, and that you live your absolute best life with great health, prosperity, and overall amazing well-being. Over the holiday season, I actually took some time off from work and pretty much everything to have some actual downtime. What is downtime for someone with a Capricorn stellium in their 6th house of work? Well, that's a little astrology joke. There's no such thing for that person. But anyway, I made all of these plans, and for things I was going to accomplish, I was going to read like 10 books, I was going to write, and I was planning out content for celestial goodness. And I was also thinking, there are things I want to get ahead of, for the new year. And I also had this draft of my vision plan for the year. And I was going to sit down with like 100 gel pens and just make it so beautiful. And speaking of vision boards, definitely see my video on vision boarding, because it's very helpful, really good tips, especially now that we're at the beginning of the calendar year. Well, none of the things I planned happened, but it was lovely. I was able to rest, like truly rest, and catch up with some family and friends through actual phone conversations and very long messages. Messages that you have to savor and really take time to think about what you want to say in return. I also got a chance to dip into some seawater. It was cold, but it really made my heart sing. And I did map out a few things that I wanted us to discuss on the blog and on the channel. I was really feeling pretty excited about all of it. That downtime and that mapping out of the content was just what my soul needed as I, entered this new year. So I returned to my day job this past week after taking this time and hit the ground running. I caught up on things. I read like a million emails. I felt productive. I got up early in the morning, made my tea, greeted the day, and I was just able to cross off one thing after another from my to-do list, which gave me great pleasure. On Tuesday evening, I reviewed the draft that I had written up for this week's video, and it was supposed to be on the chakras, and we'll get to it. But then Wednesday came. My normal job is on Capitol Hill. And although, because of the pandemic, most of us are teleworking, which we're very grateful for, we are not disconnected from the things that are happening in our physical duty station. Now, while that day started regular enough, soon we're getting one alert after another about all the crazy things happening in the building. It's like an evacuation, suspicious packages, and we were all certain that there was something really weird and crazy going on. Something that wasn't quite normal for the alerts. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this, the storming of the Capitol, and this isn't really about that. But I wasn't really prepared for the way in which those events would hijack my time, my energy, and my focus. Some of us watched these events unfold horrified at what we were seeing. My phone lit up, friends and family were checking to make sure I was okay, and physically I was okay, but mentally and emotionally, that really remained to be seen. There have been many conversations about the events of the day, January 6, 2021. Questions about how this could have happened. I don't think that anyone who's an astrologer or someone who follows the cosmos was like totally shocked, because something big and brazen was in the stars for the day. In looking at the astrology for the day, the planet Mars, the god of war in mythology, is leaving his home sign of Aries, also the god of war in mythology. Mars and Aries both represent themes of anger, ego, desire, action, and a very fiery energy. The planet Mars moving out of the sign of Aries, this happened after a very unusually long stay in Aries. Mars usually stays in a sign for approximately 6 to 7 weeks. And how it interacts with the sign creates a different type of energy for the collective. Now it's headed into the sign of Taurus, the bull. And as it was making that transit, it crossed the 29th degree, which I've talked about before, a critical degree, a degree in which something wild and big was bound to happen. So astrology has really helped me to anchor myself during trying times, to help make sense of things that don't really make sense. And this day was no different. Mars needed to go out with a bang. And what I felt later were these energies of fear and anxiety and anger settling across the collective. I could even feel my own energy starting to deplete. I felt sick, tired, upset, and sad. I unfriended people from my social media and real life who are saying the most crude things. And that too made me feel down, because I love people, and I generally don't mind friending people who have a wide range of opinions, but this felt different. I can't tell you exactly what it felt like, but it was a gut feeling, and it didn't feel good. Now, in discussions with friends who are feeling similar, I said, we may lose people, but we should never lose ourselves. The polarizing energy of these times means that we will have to make hard decisions about where we stand on certain things, what we stand for, and what we will accept in our space. For me, I have made the decision to protect my peace and my energy at all costs. I know what it means for me when I don't. I know the emotional pain that becomes physical pain, manifesting as headaches or the inability to sleep and rest. Those things impact us in bigger ways. So I know what it feels like to allow myself to be pulled into someone else's dramatic storm. I have lost myself before, and on the journey of rediscovering myself, I promised me that I would be true to me even if it meant letting people go. And that is a reality that I have lived. I've let friends and family go. I've set up necessary boundaries, and I strive for a peaceful existence. It can hurt, but we earn our place in each other's lives. You don't just get to be here, in my world anyway, and I don't feel entitled to be in anybody else's world. And if there's ever a moment that someone doesn't want me in their world, I will honor that, and I will go in peace. And also, when I say earn, I don't mean like you're paying me to be in your life or whatever, but actually we're exchanging love and energy and time, and those things are valuable and they mean a lot to me. But anyway, back to this past week. I worked on Thursday, but my soul truly wasn't in it. I moved at what felt like a snail's pace, and even when I did all my usual things to focus, like breathing and meditation, nothing seemed to work. I took Friday off, I limited my time on social media, and I moved inward. I took a walk, and as cold as it was, the fresh air felt so good, comforting almost. I listened to things that uplifted my soul. I talked to a few people that I know and love, and we laughed. I laughed at one point until I actually had tears rolling down my face. And I hugged my love, and I cooked us a yummy meal. Cooking being strangely therapeutic in these times. I also watched some anime and the season finale to Star Trek Discovery. And I cried some more because I do so love that show. It has such good reminders on life. And there are 4 amazing quotes from the star of Discovery, Commander Michael Burnham, who seemed to speak through the show to this moment. One of the things she says is, being afraid of everything means you learn nothing. Another is, the only way to defeat fear is to tell it no. And the real world doesn't always adhere to logic. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's lost, sometimes you're found. And then she said, that's how we find our way, by choosing to walk forward together. So I thought about the show in the context of these times. And then, after my day of self-care, I could feel myself coming back to myself. Some of us do not have the luxury of taking a day to come back to self. The world does not stop for us to grieve and process and make sense of things. Yet, I will implore us individually to not ever give in to the energies of fear and hate. Each of us has a part to play, and we make the decisions every day about what energies we will feed. There is a supposed Cherokee legend. I don't know that for sure. And while it's very simplistic to me and doesn't take into account the importance of some elements of our shadow side as being important, I do think it reminds us that anything in excess can be dangerous. Anything in extreme can be dangerous. And the story goes like this. One evening, an elderly Cherokee brave told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside all of us. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The grandfather simply replied, "The one you feed." And so, what will we feed? What am I choosing to feed? What are you choosing to feed? I told my mom recently that the way I feel about these times, last year, this year, in 2022, is that one day you're in the kitchen and you say, "Man, this kitchen really needs to be replaced. The sink doesn't work right. The stove is at risk of causing a fire." And so you, without any training at all in kitchen repair, minus some YouTube videos and HDTV, decide to take a jackhammer and just rip the kitchen apart. Somewhere in the middle of all this, but far enough in where you can't turn back, you say, "Wow, the kitchen is torn up. I can't go back to the way things were." And while you did what you could as far as repairs go, you end up calling in the professionals to help fix the kitchen back. Or not even back, but a new kitchen, right? They do an amazing job because that is their craft. It is what they've been trained to do. You marvel at how amazing the kitchen looks now, and you can barely even remember the old kitchen. This is my analogy for 2020, 2021, and 2022. Change does not always look pretty. Sometimes we just know that a change needs to be made. That was our instinct, to rip up the things that don't work. And I feel right now that as a collective, we're somewhere in the middle of repairs. The professionals, in my mind, are those who can help us to navigate the repair process in the storms. The therapists, the healers, among others. And we also have a role, right? And one day, we will all get up and walk into a new kitchen. Life is born from chaos and destruction. That is another quote from Discovery. When crazy things happen in the world, I try to see it as a tipping point for necessary change. It may unfold slowly, but it will come. In the meantime, I encourage you to take care of your peace and your energy as much as possible. Guard your energy, create healthy boundaries, and learn to say no, even if no is to yourself. No, I will not doom scroll. No, I will not engage in unnecessary arguments with people whose minds will not be changed. No, I will not let anyone pull me into their storms. Your energy is important. And if you want to see the kitchen fully renovated, aka if you want to see the world be better, then we have to help it be so. And I think we can together. I'm hopeful, and that's what I'm working towards. Thank you, as always, for watching these videos and for being here on planet Earth at such a time as this. If you are enjoying these videos, please also like, subscribe, comment, and feel free to share. I appreciate it. And yes, protect your energy. We need you to be at your best to do this work of renovating the kitchen. And I'm looking forward to sharing this space with you and sharing all these cool things that I love to learn about and love to share. May the stars shine ever so brightly over your week. May it be a wonderful one indeed. And may you take good care of yourself. Thank you.